back to another video, and today I will be showing you guys exactly the full-on implementation roadmap, the exact systems that I have created for my clients to be able to help get them to 150,000 plus in just 6 months that I've been working with all my clients on, right? Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is David, and today I will be essentially just going through everything, right? So first, we're gonna start off with the first process, okay? So we're just gonna draw a line here, okay? So this is just gonna be a line, and I'm gonna just like pretty much write down like the first steps, the second steps, like the third system and stuff like that. So kind of like a graph line, right? I guess if that's what you call it. So first off, we're gonna essentially start off the first step by explaining to what you can do. So like, for example, like obviously with every business that you create, whether that's online, whether that's, in person, you want to create a logo, right? So, just kind of like creating a logo right here, creating a name. What else is there? Like creating like legal solutions, so like getting your terms and conditions in place, getting your privacy policies as well. So legal conditions. And what else is there? And yeah, I mean, you can essentially name everything, right? So like the name, the logo, the legal conditions. You can get your website up and running as well if you like. So you're just essentially setting up everything, right? So this is like a step one process. So like this is all step one right here, right? You want to get this in check first. So after you're done with step one, right? That's when we can essentially come into step two. So step two is a little bit more of like the system processes now. This is where you essentially set the foundations first. Most people just go from here into like step three, and we'll get to step three in a second, but I'll just give you guys a little like hints of what step three is. It's like marketing, it's like focusing on fulfillment, right? So I'm gonna just put in fulfillment. And most people just skip step two because they don't want to do all the boring stuff, which is setting up the systems, setting up the automation, setting up everything on the back end. And they just want clients, right? And just to give you guys an example, the more clients you get, you can't scale a business if you don't have foundations. So what you're essentially doing, or what most people essentially are doing, is they're obviously doing step one, making their logo, name, brand, everything. Then they go into step three, which is marketing fulfillment. They get maxed out at like 10 clients, and they don't know how to scale. They don't know where to go from there. You know what I'm saying? Because they have to manually do everything here on step three. So essentially step two is building out the systems, right? So what we're gonna do is like automations. What we're gonna put also is like systems. And what we're gonna write is delegation, right? Because on step two, like even if you don't have any clients yet, you want to essentially delegate a few of those tasks that you think you can do automatically, right? Like with using automations and using AI, right? Now, step three, this can kind of, this could essentially include like the hiring process as well, right? So you can hire in like hire in a few people, and this goes into delegation. Because look, automations using AI, obviously it's gonna help you replace so much things in your business and other aspects of your business as well, but you're still gonna need some people, right? So this is what you need to do. You need to have a few people that can help you delegate a majority of your time. Then what you can also do is you wanna find out the ways to delegate your time, right? So I know step three is marketing fulfillment, but we're just gonna write this down here, right? So this can be pertaining to, I don't know, running meta ads. This can be, like a cold email / SMS sequence, right? So like you want to make sure that you have some sort of like cold outreach system to be able to get clients coming in now, right? You already have the automations in place, you already have the systems in place, you already delegated a few of your time with hiring in people. Now you're running meta ads. Now you're running cold email sequences and SMS sequences. Now you're getting some leads coming in now, right? And obviously, as you do this, what does this lead to? You guessed it, referrals. I don't know how to spell referrals, but you get the idea. Referrals, and then pre-existing clients, right? Pre-existing clients. So that's essentially step two. You want to make sure that you do this. So step one is obviously doing like all the first things part, doing the legal conditions, the logo, the name, the branding, right? You want to get this all out the way. Then step 2 is like automations, systems, delegating your processes, hiring a few people to do that for you, running meta ads, running cold email SMS sequences as well, right? Now, step 3, which is we're coming into marketing and fulfillment. Step 3 is obviously implementing further automations now. Look, by the time you're in step 3, you already have your marketing down. You already are kind of looking into fulfillment, right? And you might be wondering, well, why do you open up a business when you don't even have your fulfillment down? And I'm gonna get to that in a second, right? But step 3 is obviously putting into like those, automations into consideration. So now you have some automations in place. Now you have all that in place, right? So what you need to now do is essentially, and this is where you manage your team and your automations. Now this can also pertain to I don't know, like step 3 is like workspace. Having the workspace that you can essentially communicate with your team on. So communication. And then this could also mean like having further automations in place. So like further automations could be like post, sales, automated, booking process. So this can be one, right? And then a second one could be like, and at this point when you already have this down and you already have this completed, you're starting to get some clients now, right? So you're starting to get some clients. And if you do get a few clients, you come to step 3, which we are on step 3. And then from there, then that's when you can kind of essentially focus on retention, right? Now, once you're done with that, that's when we come into step 4. So when you're in step 4, you should be happy. And look, step 4 isn't like you have 100 clients or stuff like that, right? Step 4 is like you have a few clients, you have like 10 clients on board, right? So 10 clients, just gonna put in 10 clients, right? Or 10 customers or 10 patients, whatever it is that you want to call it, right? From there, what you want to do is have a, like an onboarding sequence. Like you want to make sure that you retain these clients now. So the biggest focus on here is retention. And I know I mentioned right here, but the biggest thing on step 4 is retention, because you want to make sure that you retain your clients, because all the clients that I've worked with, all the people that I've worked with in business, about, I want to say like $10,000 to even $60,000 is just lost in revenue from all the previous historic data from like back then. For example, like let's say a client books on with you, and then the next 6 months or like the next 4 months or 3 months even, or the 2 months as well, they don't book on with you. Well, that's already a pre-existing client that you can target. Most people don't have a system in place to reach out to those people automatically. They just do that all by memory, and they just manually reach out to them, call them, they don't pick up, and then they just give up, right? You don't want that happening. So the biggest thing here is having a retention thing. So this can happen, this can be an automation where it's like, client reactivation campaign. This can also be meaning, I'm trying to write down, I wrote everything down here as well for you guys. So this can also be, having a personal client management system, right? So now that instead of you always having to reach out to those clients and reactivating them, we essentially have, you have your own personal assistant reaching out to those clients for you, right? And then booking them back on the calendar. So booking them back, booking on Cal, right? So this is exactly what you want. Now, after that is essentially done, now this is the last part, right? So this is where you essentially just repeat the whole process, and you repeat step 3, step 3, step 4, step 3, step 4, step 3, step 4 over and over again, and that's when you can essentially scale, right? So step 5. Now, step 5 is obviously going to be fulfillment. Now, you might be wondering, like, David, like, why have you waited up to step 5 to focus on fulfillment? Well, here's the thing. Here, you want to focus on fulfillment. Like I mentioned, right? You want to have an offer. So you can just say like fulfillment/offer. But the reason why I have fulfillment up here as well is because, and look, same thing, right? Fulfillment, offer, marketing on the first step. Now, the reason why they're all different is because you want to have a simple marketing strategy. You want to have a simple offer at first. Like having 100 different fulfillment. Like for example, if you go to an ice cream machine or an ice cream place, right? The reason why they have so many flavors is because they already have their offer down. They already know what to do. But when they first started off, I'm sure they only started off with vanilla, chocolate, or strawberry, right? Same thing goes for you. When you're just starting off, have a simple fulfillment offer. Then have a simple marketing strategy. Once you find that winning thing, winning strategy, winning offer, winning fulfillment, winning service, you go into step 2, step 3, you make it a little bit more better, you make the fulfillment a little more better, then you do that, step 3 to step 4, you retain clients, and once that's going good, then you go into step 5, which is fulfillment, right? Now you actually can have like 10 different offers thrown out there and market those 10 different offers, and boom, you scale, right? Now, the reason why you can do that here is for step 5, it's not just all about fulfillment, right? It's also making sure that you have, like I said, automations in place as well. And I'm gonna start this as well so you guys can see. You guys want to make sure that you have automations in place as well to obviously not just help better your service, but better, onboard clients into fulfillment. So you want to essentially, you want to have a process. Like look, I'm gonna write this down. You guys want to have a process. You guys don't want to just like do fulfillment just to do fulfillment. You guys shouldn't just do having an offer just to have an offer. You want to obviously have a process, like a system. For example, like when you go to a restaurant, how they have like morning crews and like night shifts, and they essentially have like this whole process of like cleaning up at night, cleaning up in the morning, or setting up in the morning. You want to have the same thing as here. So this is where the process comes in. So to kind of recap everything off, right? We're gonna start off with step 1. Step 1, make the logo, name, legal conditions, terms, conditions, privacy policies. Do whatever legal conditions you have to do. If you want to make a website, you can. You want to do the branding, you have to do the branding as well. So I'm gonna write this down. I'm gonna highlight this. Boom, branding. Actually. Okay, cool. So branding, then have a fulfillment offer, have a simple marketing strategy as well. Once you got this down right here, this shouldn't take too long. You come to step 2. Step 2 is having automations, having that foundation in place. I'm gonna write this down. Foundation. All right. You want to have the foundation in place. Once you have that foundation in place, you have the automations, the systems, you delegate some of your time by hiring in a few people, like hiring in like one person or something. Then you have, then you use your marketing strategy and start running meta ads or whatever it is you use. You can do cold email campaigns, SMS campaigns as well, sequences, whatever it is that you want to do. Then you come into step 3, which is the marketing and fulfillment. Tie that down a little bit more. Then that's when you get essentially scale to that next level. And then from here, you have to set up your workspace communications. You want to have a post-sales automated booking system as well. So instead of you always having to manually send out texts and emails, booking their confirmations for appointments, just a simple system. Obviously, there's much more than that, but this is just a simple system that you can utilize. Then that's when you can essentially kind of focus into retaining clients now. After that's done, step 4, this is where you have to retain clients. You have to focus on retaining clients on this step. Once you do that, right, retention. Then you come into client acquisition or client, and this can essentially mean client reactivation campaigns, reaching out to clients, not just you, but having an automated system to do that for you, having a personal client management system, booking on a call, and essentially pre-qualifying those people, right? I mean, essentially you want to focus on volume here. From here, you want to focus on volume, of course, but you also want to focus on like a quality of those leads and quality of those clients. Now, once that is essentially done, what you want to do is come into step 5. Step 5 is actually tying down on your fulfillment. Once you're actually tied down on your fulfillment, you put in automations in place, further automations. Then once you're done with that, then that's when you can kind of essentially have a system to onboard clients into fulfillment and focus on your processes of your business. Once you focus on your process of your business, that's when you can scale out, open other businesses that you want to also open. Use the same method and the same steps that you did for your first business to help you scale. Then you repeat the process, and now you have multiple streams of income coming in. All right, cool guys. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Leave a like, leave a subscribe. It would really help me out a lot as well. But other than that, if you guys want to see any other videos, feel free to give me some ideas in the comments below. But without further ado, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.